I don't know what's happening right now.
I don't either. It's 5 for 5 right now. I don't know.
To everyone tuning in to Neighbors Don't Knock right now, we have no idea what's in store. But Brian, cheers, buddy. It is good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Let's get this one rolling.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the podcast Neighbors Don't Knock, the show where two neighbors drop by for conversations that are fun, relevant, and downright hilarious. Join them and special guests in their mission to talk about anything and everything and laugh about it no matter what. Now, here's your hosts, Brian Chambers and Philip Goffrey.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Neighbors Don't Knock. If you're tuning in for the first time, we are happy to have you. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Where have you been? How can it be the first time?
Yeah. Join the loyalty club, the loyal neighbor
the loyalty club.
Yeah.
We should have one of those like freaking shopper cards. People that tune in, they can prove how many episodes they've downloaded. We give them points.
Well, you have to what is it? The cards where you have to clip before you get like a free.
Yes.
Something like that.
Like the ice cream parlor punch card.
Yeah. Or the Smoothie King still does those, I think.
I think so.
Or maybe there's stamps, not car washes. Yeah, that's true. But it is season 5, episode 5. So thank you for tuning in. We're going to get into a couple of things today. We're going to give a top 10 list for travel destinations for your Labor Day weekend. So you're going to want to wait for that.
Domestic.
Yes, domestically. We're going to keep it domestic. We're also, we have a kind of a hats off to a really wonderful Samaritan, and hopefully he lives close to you as a good neighbor.
Totally a heartwarming story.
Yeah, it's a great heartwarming story. And, it's something else that we were going to get into. I have no idea.
Well, it's Labor Day.
So, we are going to recap a couple of season shows that are happening. And we say Labor Day is kind of the fall kickoff. So we're going to get into a little bit of topic because I know you've been watching a couple shows. I've been watching a couple shows.
It's true. I like the fall kickoff idea. It's sort of like, I picture like Peanuts, right? With Charlie Brown as he goes in, because I'm the one that always misses the ball.
Well, I have to say that I don't know if I would be Lucy. I'm not that mean, but I don't know.
Let's use a Lucy.
And I'm not a Lucy. I'm definitely not a Linus though.
No. That's not the music. No.
No, I know. I don't know. If you guys want to decide which Peanuts characters we should be, let us know. But let's jump right into it. The first topic we're going to talk about, Philip, did you know that there are, according to certain places, there are 10 places that are listed, cities or destinations here locally, I say domestically, not locally, domestically, that are great places to go celebrate Labor Day.
Places according to places.
The places according to thetravel.com.
Thetravel.com.
Thetravel.com. It listed.
It's not just you like the internet, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's I did not come up with this list. Before we get into our list, we always have plans and we know what's going on with our Labor Days. Typically, I'm going to be out of town this year.
That's right. Your big travel plans.
Yeah, so I will be out of town this year, and you typically are at the track. As if for those that listen to our show, know that Philip does him and his dad and family do a big race weekend.
Yeah. My father races. I turn bolts.
Yeah, so everyone kind of knows that. We're not exciting on Labor Day, but there's lots of exciting things to do.
Whoa, I'm exciting on Labor Day. Well, I just also happen to turn bolts.
Well, okay. I didn't say you personally weren't exciting. I just said our routines are very set the way they normally are.
This is true. And actually, I think that most people that think of me turning bolts picture like, the bolts in the neck on the Frankenstein's monster, right?
Yeah, you might want to clarify for those. It's kind of like,
before coffee.
It's like people talking to sports to you. Like, what? You might want to give that definition of what bolts are.
Oh, would you like a list?
But for those of you that don't know, Philip...
Let's talk rivets.
Philip does
oil weights,
work in the
ratios.
pit with his father doing race days with the race car.
It is the pit as well. MSR, I'm talking to you. Time to repave the track, gentlemen. Let's go.
Okay, so what are some things locally to our fellow neighbors here in Houston that that you would recommend doing on a Labor Day if you weren't having to be down at the track?
Well, you can always come down to the track and watch the races. That's actually kind of cool. It's MSR Houston down in Angleton. That's a neat one.
Okay, I wasn't going for the plug here.
I do think...
But I like how you took the opportunity.
Yeah. And MSR Houston, if you'd like to sponsor our show at Neighbors Don't Knock, you can reach us at admin@neighborsdon'tknock.com. So... Brian, it's hot in Texas. So Labor Day weekend's here. Of course, everyone's going to do the whole grilling thing like they do for every holiday. I get that.
Do you think that's overdone? The grilling aspect?
I guess it just depends on how much you like meat.
I guess, I guess it's a very American thing to say we're going to grill on the holiday, right?
Well, kind of. Actually, so grilling in the conventional sense and like smoking meats and whatnot was definitely not invented in the States. And in fact, in the Middle East, it's huge, right? People in the...
Well, I'm not saying that we coined it, but it just feels like for a holiday in American, it's a very thing to say, hey, we're going to grill out. And,
it's definitely weird that it's part of the kind of like ingrained tradition. I agree with you on that. I think the weirdest part about that, though, is that it's sort of ingrained in everyone's weekend tradition as well as it's weird.
It's like it's Saturday. What are we going to
exactly.
do? We're going to grill.
Right. Anyone that lives in the suburbs in the U.S., somebody is out there, firing up the Weber or whatever. And so I don't know how it's special to do it on.
We're not talking about smokers.
No. We're talking grilling.
We're talking grilling. Just kind of like, let's roll out, throw the charcoal in the grill, some lighter fluid, light a match, and let's go to town.
Yeah.
We're not talking the 12-hour process of making meat an art form.
Yeah, a little teaser for our next episode too, because we have a guest coming up next week that talks a little bit about that, and he's pretty passionate. But a little teaser there.
Yeah, I know exactly. But that was a good one. Nice, well done, sir.
I'm the plug master today.
You are the plug master. Are there any
I don't know
possible sponsorships that we need to be dropping product placement on right now?
Now I'm thinking about like sex toys and stuff. So I don't know. Plug master might not be the best nickname.
Wow, we just went for
they call me the plug master. Whoa!
Wait. Talking about. We just were talking about grilling meat. Okay, never mind. Now that I say it out loud, I hear where you got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
lather up your hot dog.
I'm
the
sorry.
Plug master's in town.
I'm sorry. I led that was way too easy. I walked right into that. Yeah, so if you go to thetravel.com, you can find this list, but here's a top 10 list according to them of places that you could travel or that are great places to travel during the Labor Day weekend.
I'm skeptical, but hit me.
All right, and I don't know if these are in order of most desirable versus least desirable, but it's just a top 10 list. I feel like they're kind of in an order of where you would choose, going best being number 1 and last being 10. Okay, so Atlanta, Georgia.
Is number 1?
Is number 10.
Number 10, okay.
Is number 10. Atlanta is the best place to be if you want to experience the hot air balloon festival that happens during Labor Day, that's kind of cool, actually.
That is very cool. I've got some friends who are avid listeners in Atlanta. I'm a little jealous. Tell me how the hot air balloon festival was.
Yeah, so if you're into hot air balloons and you weren't able to make it out to Arizona or New Mexico, wherever they do all the, I can't remember the name of the big hot air balloon festival, but you can go to Atlanta if you're there, drive, or if you want to fly. Atlanta's a pretty big hub, so you can get some flights there easily.
Yeah, if you can get. If flying is ever easy these days.
I know, right? Okay, so number 9, and hopefully I will not butcher some of these cities, these names.
Oh, I like it. Embarrassing, Brian.
I know, right? Hamtramck. It's Hamtramck, Michigan.
Oh, old Hamtramck.
There we go.
I have no idea.
Okay, so that sounds pretty good. This city in Michigan holds a Labor Day festival every year, and apparently it's very epic. It features events. The featured event is the Yacht Club canoe races that pit different bars against one another, where the teammate pushes the other in a cart down a stretch of a roadway.
Wow, Hamtramck. So epic is how we describe this, eh?
Yeah. It says the madness then ensues as patrons throw water on the contestants with buckets, and chuck water balloons at them, and utilize squirt guns. And the winner receives an inscribed wooden captain's wheel. So it's not really a yacht club. So if you're thinking, it's pretty much dry land, and you're in a go-kart or a handmade go-kart, and people just throwing water at you.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
So whoever came up with this in the lovely town of Hamtramck, forgive us if we're butchering that, are you related to the person that came up with curling by any chance? Because, wow, I mean...
It's pretty close to Canada.
How much alcohol must have been involved in creating this tradition?
Yeah. All right, number 8. That was number 9. We're only at number 8. Ooh. Number 9, Tuska, Oklahoma. Okay, so you can take part in the Choctaw National Labor Day Festival and powwow in Oklahoma. And again, I'm sorry if I butchered any of that. Visitors will learn about their tribal heritage, which I think is very cool. You know, taking part in a multitude of activities. You can join in on a game of stickball or try your hand at some of the arts and crafts. So there are also tours and demonstrations and things like that, part of the festival. So that's another neat thing, and really kind of cool to get in touch with Native American roots and find out and learn a little bit more. So I dig that one. That was really cool.
It's very cool, you know, especially for me being Irish Italian by heritage. My tribal tradition was basically drinking too much and day laboring.
Oh, well, all right, Mr. Plug.
So I'd love to go find out what some other people's tribal traditions are.
Okay, so number seven, and I'm actually happy that this made the list because, hey, what's up, cousins? Cleveland, Ohio. And if you guys don't listen to the show or know, my dad is from Cleveland, so a lot of my family is up there. So what's going on, guys? Cleveland, Ohio is number 7. And there's actually a lot to do in Cleveland than people realize. There's more than, and when you're there for when you've gone multiple times, you learn of things to do. It's not one of the, it's kind of like Houston. You don't show up to Houston and be like, I know exactly what I want to do.
Yeah, no, never.
You know, unless NASA's on your list, right? So Cleveland's very similar to that, just smaller. But there is a lot of fun things to do, and they have the Cleveland National Air Show that goes on, which air shows are always a blast. If you've never been, those are a ton of fun. And of course, if it's nice, you know, it's right across over the lake. They, you know, downtown, and there's a lot of really neat restaurants and stuff in Cleveland. But that's really one of the biggest things to be.
I kind of feel like Cleveland and Atlanta need to join forces and show people what happens when you buzz a hot air balloon with a high-powered jet.
Well, I mean, any chance to see the Thunderbirds or
way cool,
you know, or the Blue Angels or anything, it's cool. Really, really neat. So you should check that out. Okay, number six, Denver, Colorado. Now, there's lots to do in Denver. Doesn't surprise me that a big city like Denver is on the list. But Denver holds an event every Labor Day weekend called A Taste of Colorado. And this has been going on for over 36 years, and it's only gotten better with age, according to this article. You can watch plenty of live music acts. You can, you know, there's events for the kids and lots of things going. It's basically a really big festival.
Go to that festival because can you imagine how much marijuana is in the air?
Oh, I'm sure.
Wow.
I'm sure.
I mean, you walk around downtown Denver on a given Wednesday and you get a contact high.
Yeah, so I mean, so if you're into festivals and things like that, Denver's
and pot. If you're into pot.
legalize marijuana. There you go.
There you go.
So, but yes, that is first of all, that is the first top 5 right there. So now, or at least 10 through 6. So now we're gonna get into the actual top 5.
All right. So we're gonna get cadence going on this.
All right, here we go. Number 5, Chicago, Illinois. Yeah. So if you're,
did you say Illinois?
Illinois. I think I might have clipped it, but yeah, we're going to go with that one. Illinois.
Sure you did.
Yeah, right. There we go. So if you are a fan of jazz music, then Chicago is where you want to make your Labor Day plans. So,
cool.
Which they have admissions. Admission into the venue is actually free, so you don't have to pay to get in. So you can cross that off your list of expenses, which is really nice. And there's plenty of places that they're going to allow you to spend your money, I'm sure. But they have food and souvenir stands, and you can visit an art fair that's going on. There's jazz musicians on a big stage. You know, it's a really cool place over there, Centennial Park, and lots of things going on. So Chicago, and have been to Chicago in September, the weather is typically really nice. So one of my favorite times to visit Chicago is around the end of September, actually. But having been there before around that time, the weather is beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
I've been in, through, and around the Chicago airport, and that's where my experience ends. So
okay. But a jazz fan? No.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. So, but are you a music festival fan? Because the last 2 cities have been really about the music festivals, and then those can be hit or miss.
Sadly, no. You know, I've got a claustrophobia problem, Brian. So
yeah, the crowds. Yeah. Okay. I mean, but you know what? A jazz festival is very different from a music festival to me. I mean, they're both music festivals, but jazz is just very different crowds.
I believe it.
You know what I mean? So I'd be more or less up for the jazz versus just a
Yeah, a little more laid back.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to worry about getting trampled.
Like just enjoying the atmosphere more or less,
Right,
you know?
right.
And not
Everyone
saying that
has their shirt on. What is the deal with getting naked at music festivals? I'll never understand that. It's
well, first of all, but first of all, when you go to a music festival, most of them are during warm weather seasons. So people are just hot anyway. And you talked about crowds. I mean, you're crammed with people everywhere.
yeah. You know, I run in the middle of summer in Houston, Texas, in the middle of the afternoon when the feels like temperature is 108, 110 degrees. You know, I don't take off my shirt.
You know, many people do, though.
I've noticed.
Yeah. Okay, number four, Mammoth Lakes, California. I didn't even know there was a place called Mammoth Lakes.
Not very creatively named.
So, all right. So if you prefer arts and crafts to fireworks, then you should head to California for Labor Day Festival of the Arts in Mammoth Lake. Okay. There are over 80 artists showcasing their work, and the views of the surrounding area are amazing.
Very cool.
So, you know,
80 seems like a low number, though, doesn't it?
well,
Like I would have like
maybe.
over 800 artists showing their work, but it's like
I mean, apparently this arts and crafts festival has been going since 1970. So
It's
been
true,
it's
but
been
in
around a
1970
while.
it started with 68 artists, and now they've really
I'm sure. So, yeah, they really
blown up in this whole
expand.
thing. Yeah.
Well, maybe they limit. Maybe it's the area. I don't know. But there are plenty of things to do for the kids and things like that. They also have aerial shows, live music performances. So there's a little bit more that's going on than just the artist. So
Very cool.
So there you go. So if you're interested in that, Mammoth Lakes, California, check them out. That was number 4. All right, we're at the top 3. Okay.
Thank goodness.
Number 3, Park City, Utah. Park City celebrates its history with the Miners' Day Parade and celebration on Labor Day. The day starts with breakfast in the park and then turns into a fun 5K run where you can bring your very own furry friend. They also hold a unique event called Running of the Balls, where I'm not making this up.
I'm going.
Where the guests buy yellow golf balls that are then released at the top of Main Street. And if your ball happens to be one of the first ones through the chute, then you can win a valuable prize. So the running of the balls.
Wow, the running of the balls. I dig it. I think that Park City should up their game a little bit, though, and make the fun, bring your furry friend and go for a run thing. They should really be Miners' Day. They should actually run through the abandoned mines and then see who comes out. It'd be just like Labor Day back in the day.
Oh, my word. I don't know about that one.
The running of the balls. Okay, Park City.
Yeah,
I'm coming for you. I'm bringing my yellow balls.
I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking more Park City for winter type events.
How many blue balls jokes do you think get passed around that day? It's got to be a lot.
There's a lot. Well, I was thinking blue balls. I was thinking sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls.
I was thinking sweaty balls all day long. Okay, so the top 2. Here we go. Number 2, Washington, D.C. Is anyone really surprised that D.C. on a large holiday like Labor Day is a number 2? Are you surprised?
Am I surprised it's on the list? No. Am I surprised that if they update the list tomorrow, it doesn't get dropped from the list? Yeah, a little bit. Because who wants to go to D.C. anymore?
Well, actually, I've never been. I would love to go to D.C.
You got to do it once.
But not on a major holiday.
No.
I don't, and that's just me. So, I mean, if you're up for that and you like being around things like that, hey, more power to you. I prefer not to do that. But DC is a place to be on Labor Day because it's our nation's capital. It's obviously going to be holding, according to this, the best events. I don't know. That's questionable to me.
They're having a great protest at the mall today.
Well, they have the
bring a sign, shake a fist.
The symphony on the west lawn of the U.S. Capitol goes out.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. They have some fresh food from farmers markets, and of course, you can check out the Library of Congress and the National Book Festival, which is going on.
Don't keep any.
Yeah. So, I mean,
we're learning that's a problem.
It's DC. There's things to do. I mean, there's things to do just in DC in general. So, to me, it wouldn't be. It's a number 2. I don't put it as number 2. So,
no. I mean, honestly, especially because it takes time in planning the whole espionage thing. And
I know, right? Okay, yeah. As the Secret Service bust through your door as they're listening to this. Okay, we've been ratted out, boys. We've been ratted out. Okay,
we finally caught him. The plug master.
The plug master.
Been on the land for years.
I was just saying, what other aliases would you have?
You like that? You like the plug master on the lamb?
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
He's like, we caught him. He's like, that's not my real name. All right. If you have another alias for Philip, let me know. List in the comments
Not
below.
bad, Poppy.
Okay, so number 1, Boston, Massachusetts. Again,
That's the number one Labor Day
according to
destination?
them. According to them.
Listen to travel.com. I got a bone to pick with you.
So, Boston apparently is ready to party on Labor Day, according to this.
Boston's always ready to party.
You can attend the Lux Labor Day rooftop party where you can get food and drinks as well as meet new people. You can do those anywhere. I mean, I just think I'm with you. I think Boston is just always ready to party. I mean, it's Boston. Again, it's like DC. There's always things to do.
Yeah, pretty much. And be a good boondock saint and bring a rope.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that list? Would you change anything? Would you add anything? Is there a city or place that you would add?
The funny thing is that any place I would add was not on that list. So.
Then where would you add?
But I don't know
about
an actual Labor Day destination. I guess that's the problem. But I can't imagine you're missing. New York City is not even on the list, which seems weird.
But again, it's like New York City. There's so much to do already in New York City.
This is true.
I mean, why Labor Day? Why would Labor Day make it any special?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like no place in Maine is on the list. I mean, Maine still has beautiful weather this time of year. It just
That's
seems
true.
weird. There's got to be cities up there that are doing awesome things.
I mean, although being hurricane season, you never know with coastal cities.
Down here, Maine's up there.
No, they get hurricanes up there. It may not
kind
hit.
of.
It may not hit like. All right, fine.
Seriously, whenever the
they
hurricanes,
get more tropical storms. All right, fine.
Whenever the hurricane is coming up the,
it looks like it's going to head that way.
Everyone in Maine
out.
just blows really hard. It just spins back off into the Atlantic. What the hell? Oh God! All right, it's gone.
I mean, but there was Lake Tahoe wasn't mentioned. I don't know if there's anything, but I would go. Northern California has some beautiful places to go to. I mean,
yeah, it's just kind of shocking to me. You'd think that San Diego, California, had an amazing Labor Day.
I don't know. And maybe, again, like we talked about, maybe that's just part of it. Labor Day is not really celebrated the way we should.
I'm thinking that somebody at the travel.com had a dartboard and they were just...
I don't know. I'm happy.
Where do you want to go? Chicago. Oh, hammer dick or whatever that was. Park City, Utah. You know what I mean? Yeah. They do the running of the balls. That's amazing.
No, I'm happy Cleveland, yay, made that list. But I don't know. Let us know if you guys have a really cool Labor Day plan. If you have plans on Labor Day that's really cool that want to let us know, leave it in the comments below. If you have a place or destination, hey, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, post up.
Okay, our second segment is really getting into a little bit of some pop culture. To me, Labor Day always feels like fall. Like once you've hit Labor Day, it feels like, okay, now we're in the fall. Even though it's still hot, it's still not technically, first day of fall.
Growing up for me, it definitely did because school actually, when I was a kid, started right after Labor Day.
Okay.
And they only started doing it before in recent history. So at least in New England. So yeah, for me, it was always like you said earlier, the fall kickoff. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. And because school also used to start a lot sooner. Yeah, for some of us in August, like a little
for me,
earlier.
It was the opposite. Yeah.
Oh, but you started after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Okay. See, like Texas, it was a lot of schools that started like early mid. I said early August, but mid August.
Yeah. What's the deal with that?
It's like it's gotten a little bit later. I don't know why.
Interesting.
There's like schools started. If you're listening to this, started a week or two ago for a lot of places. But anyway, but being what I call quote unquote the fall. There's a lot of shows that are coming out.
This is true. It's strange, right? Because the summer blockbuster thing is over for the movies, and all of a sudden, like TV.
I know they just take over. Yeah, exactly.
I guess it makes sense because with school in session, lots of families are captive in the evenings.
Yeah, or on their phones during the day, and they're not going to the movie theaters unless you're like us, where you have breaks in your job. You're like, no, I'm going to take 2 hours off and go see a movie.
I can't do that anymore. I miss it. I miss those days.
I miss those days. Well, I'm getting close to not being able to do that, but being an actor kind of lends me some flexibility.
That funky schedule.
Yeah, exactly. But I still love what they've been doing with a lot of the shows because there's some wonderful and exciting shows that are coming out.
right,
At least hopeful.
Our listeners know you've always got like the list. So what are you excited for? What is the Chambers fall lineup?
We won't do any spoilers with this, but we are. I was excited for House of Dragons, the Game of Thrones show. Very, very excited for that, and I have begun watching that. So we can share some banter on that, but we won't spoil anything for anybody. You know, I am most excited about Andor on Disney Plus, the Star Wars show,
right.
the Star Wars show. It is what I was hoping for back since I started watching The Mandalorian. I mean, it's just a continuation of something even better than that.
So because you know all things Star Wars and all things Disney.
I wouldn't go that far, but I'm a very big fan.
Is Andor another one of these just like quick little runs, like 8 episodes or 10 episodes, never again kind of thing?
No, they're gonna do several, but the thing is, this takes place over a course of a lot of years. So like the first, they're releasing. And I'm now gonna blank on this, but they're releasing a couple of episodes right away that are gonna deal with the first year.
Oh, I see.
So that way they can get into it. Because if you watch the movie Rogue One, this is a continuation of leading up to that.
Yeah, I mean, Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars.
It's
movie.
a brilliant movie.
I even put it above the first 3. It's my favorite Star Wars movie.
I won't put it above the first. I won't put it above Return of the Jedi. I mean, Empire is pretty good. I mean, I don't know. I love the original trilogy.
You see what I did?
I knew he did. He's like, hey, we're gonna go fishing. All right.
Kind of flushing out in the cheeks.
I know.
Get like all excited.
I love the original trilogy, and I actually like the prequels too. I do like the prequels. You shrug what you may.
That wasn't a shrug, brother.
But I will just say this: Rogue One is not better than the original 3, but it is up there.
That's a great movie.
It is up there. I can't.
Okay, so Andor is the TV series answer for a
me.
prequel to Rogue One. That's what it is, right?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, and it's going to be really dark. It's going to be really gritty. It's got a lot of the untold stories, and it's wonderful. I can't wait for it.
Okay, so educate me. Are these untold stories, or are like on film, or are these new stories they're making up that are like untold?
Now? Okay, now let me. This is where I say I'm not all things Star Wars because I don't read all the books and everything.
Okay, so not sure.
So there's a lot of books out there that people read, and very avid Star Wars fans are much better and more in depth than I am. I follow mostly with the films and some of the books and things like that, but not everything.
And Star Wars canon does some weird stuff because they have also comic books, right? That supplement all of the. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff out there, but these stories are what I'm talking about as far as TV and film. So I'm excited to see that. The trailers look unbelievable. Cool. Unbelievable. So for me, all right, I gushed about that. So that's mine. She-Hulk has been out. I know that's a big one for a lot of people. So if you're into the Marvel She-Hulk, we've started watching that, and we're way past the first, at least the first episode. So if you haven't watched that, go watch those. It captivated me right at first. I was really. I was pleasantly surprised.
I'm watching so far.
So
far.
Okay, you got to wait till the end for.
I'm on the fence.
Okay. Right now I'm enjoying it. Right now I'm enjoying it. So we'll see by the end of the season, maybe not. I don't know. So, but yeah, She-Hulk is another one out. House of Dragons was the other one that we started watching, and I know you are still trying to catch up with it because it was pretty intense.
Yeah. That's all. That's the only spoiler I will give. That what I've seen so far of the first episode of House of Dragons, which by the time this episode drops, there'll be a few of them out there. But it was very, very intense, or at least a couple of them out there. I
love that. I loved it.
I will say this though. I'm interested. As we continue to feed these monster studios more and more of our hard-earned dollars by way of these streaming services. Are there any shows on network TV that you know of coming out? Because I couldn't name one.
No, everything's coming out on either Hulu, Amazon, HBO Max, Netflix, Disney,
Paramount Plus.
Everything's coming out. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, I'm
I
trying to
can't
think.
name one.
I mean, everyone likes to watch with The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. Those are still pumping out, I believe.
I have no idea. Is Modern Family still filming? Or are they done?
No, I'm pretty sure
They're
that's
long
done.
done. Is there like some new iteration of How I Met Your Dog's brother's mother
Well,
or
they
something
did.
like that?
Well,
or-
again, they did like a revamp of like Saved by the Bell, but that was again on Paramount Plus.
yeah.
And
Did
things like
last?
that. And I don't know if it lasted. It didn't really. I wasn't really caring for it. Shows that
Yeah,
are
sorry,
still.
Zach.
I don't think he was in it, but Mario Lopez was. I think.
yeah?
I'm pretty sure he was. You still got things. Okay, so for those of you that are watching network TV. The Bachelor is still going on. I know a couple of friends, a couple of listeners
It'll never die.
that love that show, so I got nothing against that. Top Gear is always a really big one.
Oh yeah.
The Wire, Monk. There's Dr. Phil still going strong.
Wow. Shout out to Dr. Phil. Well done. Even after that weird expose on how freaky your house is. You're still out. That's great.
I mean, Dr. Phil is always going to be going on.
Have you seen pictures inside that dude's house?
No.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it
Worth
doesn't.
Googling, my
It doesn't
friend.
surprise me. He apparently like vacations in the French Riviera or something like
Yeah,
that.
he's big into luxury. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I believe it. I totally believe it.
I like the way you did that. Dr. Phil.
Big Brother's still out there. Walker.
Big Brother's always out there, Brian.
I know. Walker is out there. What was that?
Walker?
Yeah, it's
As in Walker, Texas Ranger Walker?
yeah. It's actually that film's in Texas.
Is it still Chuck Norris?
I know it's not Chuck Norris.
Okay.
It's
I was gonna
it's
say.
not Chuck Norris. It's not. There is a new one that is kind of cool. It's called A League of Their Own, and not the movie A League of Their Own, but it's on Amazon Prime.
Is it a spin-off of the
It's
movie?
a spinoff of the movie.
That's great.
It's supposed to be really cool. It's on my list.
So actually, I told you this, but I have not told our listeners this. My family and I just watched the film again for the first time in
Love the film.
15 years for me.
Love the film.
Fantastic.
Oh, it never gets old.
Not appropriate for a 9-year-old. I'm just throwing that out there right now. I completely forgot how much of that.
It's a quote where he signs the kid's baseball and he's like, avoid the clap, Jimmy Dugan.
I know, but
and the kid goes, wow.
That's great. It's good advice, kid. Yeah. I know. And of course, I remembered that moment and that line because it was so brilliant. Tom Hanks was so brilliant in that role. But I completely forgot how much more of that movie is an adult movie. And I was like, oh, gosh.
I know. I mean,
Yeah, a lot of questions came from my daughter after watching A League of Their Own. So if you want an inspiring story for a little girl in your life, I'd wait until maybe 13.
yeah, well,
Maybe 14.
these
even
days
might
it's
be.
very, very different these days. It's very, very different. But there's a couple other ones. Okay, so Sandman is out on Netflix, which is already out.
So I personally have already watched it. And
I have too.
I loved it.
I didn't share as much enthusiasm as you did.
But you didn't read the original graphic novels.
No,
comics,
I
right?
did. I did not.
See,
I did not.
I read all of them, and I was just enamored with them. In fact, it's the only comic series in my life I've ever read all of.
Okay.
Because I was not a big comic guy, and I didn't read it until college. A friend of mine, big shout out to Kate, if you're listening, said you have to read this, and handed me all of the Sandman. It was like, go.
Okay.
And I just did for like 2 weeks.
Okay. So I mean, that makes sense that you would love that
Yeah.
then. Okay.
But what a beautifully shot production.
I mean, I was the cinematography and it was great.
Gorgeous.
I mean, again, I wasn't. I won't say anything negative against it. It just didn't capture me enough.
Fair enough. Did you catch the bonus episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did. Again, I enjoyed it. But I don't necessarily see that as something, carrying on. There's another one. Apple TV is coming out with. They have C that's about to drop or has dropped already. And of course, the Lord of the Rings, Power of the Rings, is going to be coming out as well in September, which is going to be awesome. That one I am really actually very excited for. There's lots of other things, but my wife and I are big into Only Murders in the Building.
Okay, so my wife and I tried to get into that, and
I
and
love
I couldn't
it.
do it.
I love that show.
Tell me it picks up after the first episode because I'm sitting there just. Whoa.
It gets really good. But we love like thriller, murder mystery type things like that. And I love Steve Martin and Martin Short. They did. Selena Gomez did a great job. I love all the cameos in the show. It's wonderful, and there is going to be a season 3.
I will say this. I am, after just a little bit of experience with that show, I've never seen Selena Gomez on film before. I know she's done film prior to this project, but I've never seen it. And shout out to Selena Gomez, talented woman. I mean, she
was doing great in that. I was really happy. So what do you guys like to watch? There's a lot of stuff coming out. I mean, it is that season. So it's kind of cool that TV season is here. I guess the fall is the TV season. You're right. And then as soon as the holidays start to pick back up, then you're back to movies again.
But here's the thing, Brian. Honestly, they say it's the golden age of television right now, all over again.
Do they?
And they do. And
who says that?
They.
Because I don't.
They.com.
Okay, because I don't say that.
Yeah. No, they do say that. And if you think about it, it makes sense, because if you think about how much incredible content that there is.
Well, there's so much.
Right. But that's the problem, right? That's what I'm about to gripe about it. My father-in-law, when he was visiting from Russia one year, got really upset. We were in Specs, and he got really mad at how much variety there was in Specs. He was just genuinely pissed off.
How dare they have more than 2 liquors?
Well, it was so funny. He's like, how do they expect me to make a decision? This is insane. Who has time for this? I'm kind of starting to feel that way about entertainment content, because there's just
they are flooding it.
So much of it. Yeah, and it's all very good, right?
Well,
very high dollar, very high production quality. The acting is always excellent. The writing's become excellent across the board. I'm like,
I can understand that. And speaking back to our past guest, and you should go check out that episode with Armin Williams, who is a radio host for
a lovely gentleman.
Awesome episode for 25 years. And we talked about this. We talked about how it's crowded, is how he put it,
For radio,
yeah, for radio. And so maybe that word really sits in for content with TV and not so much movies. There's still the motion pictures and things like that are still. There's always going to have a spot where I feel it's going to have a good. Some years are better than others with things coming out.
Well, they're bigger projects, and they're isolated.
Exactly. So I feel like they've carved their own section out. But you're right. With as much availability to the content that we get and can provide of podcast and YouTube channels and streaming services and network TV. And I mean, it's a lot to decide what you're going to really watch. Okay, let's get into our third segment. It's a little bit of neighborly love right now. And let me see. That's right, third. It's not exactly advice today so much as we're going to honor a neighbor.
I like good neighbor stories.
It's a good neighbor story. And I think it's advice in itself, but this neighbor is a man on a mission. And I mean a man on a mission, he helps strangers retrieve lost items. This is up in Massachusetts. This is a story about a man that reunited a woman with her diamond ring after spending 3 days with a metal detector searching the ocean in the New Hampshire beach, or at the New Hampshire beach. So she told her husband that they were throwing a football apparently in waist-deep water at North Beach in Hampton, New Hampshire, and her ring came off. And just a little bit of bonus neighborly advice: don't go to the beach with your wedding rings.
Smart. That's good advice.
Whether you're a man or a woman, just don't. And I know for guys, we don't take ours off a lot. I rarely do. But
well, I'm a bolt turner. Mine comes off when I
yours comes off. Yeah. All right. So there you go. So
otherwise, honey, it's on there.
Yeah. Don't let that happen to you. But let me just tell you, this guy spent 15 hours over the course of 3 days with the metal detector looking for this ring.
That's unreal. And this is all this guy does as a hobby. He actually goes
around and does this.
It's fantastic.
I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. I mean, I wish we knew more people like that.
Does he have like a website where people contact him?
I'm sure people probably in the area know who he is.
So cool.
But we're going to give a shout out to him. He's a resident of the area. His name is Lou Asci, and that's ASCI. So, I mean, in the course of the 3 days and 15 hours, he basically went about 75 miles back and forth looking for this ring. So,
Lou, buddy, mad respect.
Awesome job, man. Thank you so much, and way to be a good neighbor. And this is not the only person he's helped. I mean, it's kind of like...
It's like what this guy does.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's like he's known for now.
It's weird, but it's so cool.
I mean, weird doesn't have to
It's
be
weird
bad.
good. It's good
Yeah,
weird.
it's awesome. It's awesome. So, hey, there you go. And of course, don't wear your wedding rings to the beach. Well,
See, you even snuck in neighborly advice in there.
I did. You know, I thought we were just going to honor Lou, but I didn't want to.
Double whammy.
Yeah, it was a double whammy. So there you guys go. Well, Philip, I think we've exhausted this one enough. But
I'm exhausted.
I am too. But we do have some wonderful guests coming up, and we're going to tease a little bit of them. We have had a chef on the show. Big shout out to Chris Shepard in our first season. Check out that episode. But this is a little bit different. We do have a wonderful chef coming on, but it's a pastry chef.
I'm very, very excited to sit down with this person. I'm not even going to give you...
That's about all we're going to
Yep,
say.
that's all you
That's
get.
all you get. It's really going to be awesome. And not only that, we have somebody else. You mentioned the barbecue stuff. He's a creative guy. He's an entrepreneur. Oh man, he's gonna want to make you go out and get your rodeo attire here for Rodeo Houston.
Yep, and these are
that's
gonna be
all
great
and that's all I'm gonna say. There you go. That's enough. I think I said too much. I did it.
I agree. These are great guests for everybody. They also happen to be local Houstonians, so a little shout out to the hometown.
Yeah, absolutely. But remember, you guys can catch episodes every Friday. That's right. Where we have either new neighbors stopping by or just spending some time with us.
Indeed. And if you're involved in any, yellow balls, the running of the balls,
Running to the balls. Should we try that here?
give us a shout at admin@neighborsdon'tknock.com. I'd like to hear your story.
I would definitely like to hear your story. But hit us up on social media, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Out.